Thank you. It's just come up to about 20 to 8. The next generation of young women is growing up feeling that sexual harassment is unavoidable and appearance is all that matters, according to new research from Girl Guiding UK.
The studies suggest that sexism still affects many areas of their lives, something these guides in Cheshire agree with.
A lot of the boys are starting to be like always looking for a girlfriend. It's often how we look.
I have some friends that think they're quite skinny, like they're not unhealthy, but they're skinny, and they think that they're big when they're not.
Well, I used to play football in my primary school, and a lot of the boys used to think they were better than the girls' team, which was quite off-putting when we used to play matches.
If we're playing rugby or football or something, the boys will go past and make like a snide comment or something.
If it does happen, then I just ignore them and carry on with my life.
Yeah, I feel like I should be skinnier, I feel like I should be prettier.
You always feel like you've always got to be wearing makeup and mascara just to make yourself feel pretty, because other people are there and going to put you down if you don't dress like that.
I don't think there's enough female like scientists or doctors or females in that profession. Like, for example, people that went to space are mainly men, just not women. So I think that's a bit unfair.
Well, we're joined now by entrepreneur Rose Marley and Emma Gies. Is that right, Emma? Who's a Girl Guide advocate. Morning, both. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Very interesting listening to those, Emma. Presumably this is something that you sort of agree with. Would you agree with most of what they say?
Yes, I think it is. I think some things are better than they were in the past, but I think sexism is still very prevalent and it's very deeply ingrained in our society.
And what kind of form do you see it take?
I think it takes lots of different aspects, and I think it's something people don't realise is actually going on. Look, from a young child, girls are given pink toys, boys are given blue toys, girls are encouraged to do more feminine careers, and I think particularly in university it becomes a lot more prevalent. There's things like the everyday sexism and freshers sexism have shown that it is still really prevalent. Girls are expected to dress a certain way, and have theme nights where girls have to dress in a very provocative way. And I think it's quite shocking that it's still around.
Yes, and Rose, looking at the survey, it looks at various elements. One of the more alarming ones, 70% of girls aged 13 and over report more intrusive forms of sexual harassment at school or college. Sexual jokes or taunts, 51%. Harassment at school, 39% seeing images of girls or women that made them feel uncomfortable.
I think there is a lot of imagery in the modern world. There's a lot more imagery than we've ever been exposed to before through digital content. So what was already a problem is exposed on a mass scale. But I do think that women and girls have an opportunity. We do have empowerment. We do have an opportunity more than ever before to change this because of that technology. So, for example, one of the industries that is known for exploiting women, the fashion industry, well, the fashion designer Norma Kamali has started a campaign, Stop Objectification, and she's using the power of herself as an international fashion designer to actually challenge perceptions of women. And I think we need to do more as in every area of life. So I think we need to look at ourselves about what we're doing to perpetuate those behaviours, and I do think we need to challenge young girls about perceptions of themselves and their perceptions of their peers.
Why challenging them? How is that going to help?
Well, I was reading in the report, and Emma talked about the deep ingrained cultures and perceptions that we have. And in the report it says, as an example, it says 72% of the girls surveyed believe there should be more women in business and politics. And as a mother, as a Girl Guide leader, as a teacher, are we saying, great, which one are you going to be? Are we challenging them and saying, come on, you can take hold of this more than ever, your generation of women? We need to give them the new guide handbook, the new toolkit to empower them in a new modern world.
Some of it, in a way, Emma, is about how you, well, it shouldn't be, but it ends up being how you respond. I mean, so you're a lot younger than the rest of us sat here. You're closest to it. So in your personal experience, how have you gone about dealing with, what you're faced with?
I think it's important to challenge it. I think one of the reasons why it's still so deeply ingrained is that people don't challenge sexist behaviour. When someone makes a sexist comment...
Give us an example of a situation you've been in where you felt like you had to do something as opposed to just sort of accept.
I often find people comment about your looks rather than what you're actually doing, and people, male or female, should be celebrated for their achievements and aspirations rather than what they look like. And I think it's important to challenge that and say, actually, no, I'm here because I've worked hard, I've done well, I want to do this, not here because of my looks. And I think that's something that is a problem at the moment.
You work, don't you, Rose, in the creative digital sector. There's presumably quite a lot of work that people can do in that area as well.
Yes, there is. It is a male-dominated sector. The concern is that the STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering and maths, we're not getting girls coming through those subject matters in school.
What do you say to girls who think that might think erroneously that they are geeky subjects, for example? That's that's a sort of word. Emma, you nod your head when you hear that.
I do find it very frustrating because girls do think, oh, I can't do maths, I can't do physics, they're boy subjects, and actually you should be able to do the subjects you want and pursue your interests. And I think it's about encouraging, like you said, getting them role models, saying, look, you can do what you want. If you're interested in engineering, go for it. If you want to be the next Prime Minister, go for it. And it's just providing those opportunities and encouraging them along the way and not closing off doors too early on.
I think there's a lot more that we can do with our school environments as well. So as you say, engineering and the perceptions of what that means, well, engineering can also mean, you have sound engineers here, you have visual engineers. It's about understanding what some of these subject matters will enable you to do in your future life. And I do get concerned that we are assigning technology to being, possibly alongside the light bulbs and buying the car and the bins, the man's job. Yes. And actually we're doing a real disservice to our girls by not encouraging them.
I suppose you could argue in a way that the fact that the Girl Guide movement is even asking the question now, they wouldn't have done that 10, 15, 20 years ago, would they? Wouldn't even ask that question.
I think one of the fantastic things about modern day is that there's so much more ability to be able to talk about things, to be able to raise issues. Things like social media have made it more easy to talk about issues that are affecting girls. And I think we are having a wave where people are starting to notice things that our sectors are willing to talk about it now.
OK, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It is exactly 7:45. You're watching Breakfast from BBC.